All right, so let's see how we did. So you could change it afterwards. I'm just going to go through each letter. All right, I put A and C in there for you. I didn't want you guys spending too much time on that. B, you should have had, I hope, Hawaii, place I would love to go to one day. D, we should obviously all know, United States. E, this is Cuba. F, Puerto Rico. G, it's a place we're going to do a lot of talking about in section 3, Panama. We're going to do something really important there. If you haven't heard of the Panama Canal, we play a big role in cutting through their land and making it that much easier to travel to the west coast of the country. Then we got H, China. China's H. I, Japan. And J is the Philippines. All right, so these are all areas that the United States is going to have a dominance in. Some of you might say China. Yeah, we're gonna basically control what happens in China, and we'll see that a little bit, probably more towards Friday. We're going to control all the interactions in China because all these countries in Europe, all these countries that you see here, they are all going to try to exploit China. So we'll get to it. We're going to talk about early on how we're going to claim these 3 areas out here. One that's not on there for some reason, K. Some of you might have seen Alaska. K is up here. I don't know why it's not on this map. But Alaska is right up there. That's our K. So if you want to add it to the Word document, you can. But you don't have to. But these are the locations. Puerto Rico, we're going to claim after the Spanish-American War. Philippines, after the Spanish-American War. Cuba, after the Spanish-American War. I got a great video I'm going to show you when we get to that. All right, but these are the locations that we need to know. All right, so if you're following along with me here, we're going to try something out. All right, so the big idea of this chapter is going to be talking about foreign policy. All right, foreign policy. When you think foreign, try to think about where you've heard that before. Policy, think about where you've heard that before. Take about 30 seconds here. Try to basically write down in your own words what you think a country's foreign policy means. What could that possibly mean? A country's foreign policy. This is pretty cool. If you have to, pause the video and then come back. All right, so when you hear foreign policy, it's as easy as basically as it would say. Foreign policy. It's what a country is going to be doing outside of its own borders. How is it going to interact with other countries? All right, so foreign policy, how you want to deal with other nations. Do you want to deal with other nations at all? You want to be highly involved. And that's where you'll see these 2 words right here. These were pretty important in U.S. history. Isolation, this was one that was preached early on. So what I want you to do here, when a country is isolated, they have little to do with the affairs of other countries. So when you're isolated, you're staying out of foreign relations at all. You don't want to be involved. So the United States is going to be both isolated and expanding at the same time. Right? George Washington said, do not get involved with other countries because if you do, you're always going to be putting yourself out there. All right, so when you're isolated, you're staying away. All right, and then write down what you think that is in your own words. You come back to it, or pause me real quick and do it. Then, although we were isolated, as it says, we were also expanding. So when you expand, you're growing. So just think about what the United States was doing early on. What was the United States doing early on the North American continent that was showing that they were not only being isolated, staying away from other countries, but they were expanding? Pause it, write down an answer. What were we doing? Type down an answer. Well, just think about what we did. We started with the colonies, and we slowly made